How's it going, guys? Angus here from Makers Muse. So today's video is going to be a little bit different because I thought I get asked a lot of questions. Why not do a Q&A video? So here it is. I've got a list of questions here and I'm going to try to get through them. So firstly, one from Panorith 3D Printing, well a couple from Panorith. So Panorith 3D Printing is an awesome up and coming 3D printing channel on YouTube. I'm going to put his link in the description. Definitely go check him out. He's got some good stuff so far. Just keep going, dude. You're going to do really well. You're starting way younger than I did, so definitely keep going. But he's asked me a couple of questions. So number one, do you remember when you first got interested in 3D printing or saw a 3D printer for the first time? Yes, I do. I was in year 10 at high school. We went on a special sort of trip to University of Technology in Sydney, and they had their Stratasys printers, their FGM Stratasys. I think it was the Dimension Elite series. These machines were valued at $80,000 each, and they only printed sort of yay big in ABS with soluble support material. So this is the original FDM printers, and back then they were really expensive and cumbersome, but the idea of 3D printing was just mind-blowing. They had some turbine parts that sort of demoed, obviously out of plastic so you couldn't use them, but I thought that was awesome. And then a couple of years later I ended up going to UTS and using these very same machines for my first prototypes, so that was cool. Number two, what was your first 3D printer? That was my Up Mini. So my Up Mini was the first ever 3D printer I could get. It was the first one I could ever afford. At the time, they were about 1,500 Australian dollars. And I got it in my final year of university. So I needed to print stuff at home. I really wanted to. At the time, I was using the Unis printers, which were very expensive. Their Stratasys consumables, even at cost, is just like ridiculous, like $600 plus a kilo for the filament. So I got the Up Mini, and in the money I saved from printing at home, it pretty much paid itself off within the year, and it still works to this day. Great little printer. So what do you think 3D printers will look like in the future, 10, 20 years? Interesting. I think that the FDM technology is simple, but it will eventually be superseded by much better inkjet style systems like the objet printers, where you can print analogs of plastics like ABS-like materials, and I think they're going to nail the price point of that down and get safer and better materials. So kind of an evolution of SLA. I think that's going to be the best one. Powder's still too messy. I can't see that being used in homes or anything, but if they manage to make a way where they can sort of spray the powder and then remove it cleanly, that'd be cool. But yeah, I think the liquid resin systems like the objet systems would be the way to go for the future. What made you start making videos? Well, basically I was telling people the same thing again and again, and I was doing training classes and things like that, and I really wanted a way to share my knowledge with other people so they could learn, from my mistakes essentially, because it takes a long time to learn stuff with 3D printing. Even now, with so much resources out there, there's still a lot of things that you have to pick up from experience, so I wanted to really share that experience with people. And plus, I'm really bad at public speaking. I'm actually shocking at public speaking. And I wanted a way to kind of improve my public speaking skills in a way that I could do it. So talking to a camera is quite decent. I'm also really bad at speaking words, not very eloquent. So this kind of helps me. That's sort of why I started, and then it just sort of snowballed from there. What's your favorite 3D printing YouTube channel, and what's your favorite non-3D printing YouTube channel? Well, I don't really have a favorite 3D printing YouTube channel. I'm great friends with Joel and Anthony and Chuck. They all have awesome content on their channels, and I couldn't really fairly pick out a single one because they all do their own niches really well, just as I do my own niche. But in terms of non-3D printing YouTube channel, it would definitely have to be Linus Tech Tips. So Linus and his team are awesome guys, and they've inspired me to move to Canada one day just because they make it look awesome. And I'm not gonna lie, I've modeled like so much of my channel off them by watching their videos. And I do aspire to have something like that one day where I can have a guy actually film for me and edit, so I can get content up like every day on 3D printing, but also other stuff, other tech things like drones and electronics. I really want to sort of nail that space. But yeah, I definitely love the Linus guys. And they're doing 3D printing now, which is awesome. So maybe a collaboration, although I probably not. But, oh well, you can dream. Next question. What are your favorite, not favorite parts of 3D printing? Well, my favorite part would be to come up with an idea and have it physical by the end of the day. For example, this thing. I want to do top-down shots with my camera for when I'm doing unboxing so you can see it clearly. So I just got the file of my mini factory for an iPhone holder, and then I use Thingiverse to add, sorry not Thingiverse, Tinkercad to add some stuff to it, and now it goes on like that and holds my phone so I can record. Awesome, really quick, simple project, came along really well. What I hate about 3D printing is when the 3D print fails, and this is just part of the course. It's something that happens with these low-end machines. 3D prints do fail sometimes, but I really don't like it when it happens on really long prints and you're not there. Like, I'm testing out Box at the moment, and a 24-hour print failed about 12 hours in. Not because of the outbox's fault, the filament tangled, and that sucks, but it happens. So, don't like that, like that. And I have a few questions from Subham Sagar, actually kind of a lot of questions, I can't cover them all unfortunately. But his first question is, what if I took a small printer like a Fabricator Mini and mod it with longer X, Y, and Z axes to increase the print volume? Will it work the same, or software mods are required? I have been asked this question a few times in the past. You can do it on some printers. You can increase the Z height quite easily on some printers. But the problem with expanding all the axes is, for example, the Fabricator Mini has 3mm linear rods. If you made those rods, which are that long, then the flex in them is going to be quite substantial, especially as you add mass to the printer. So you won't be able to use those rods anymore, so you have to add thicker rods, and then it kind of snowballs to the point where you're just making a whole new printer, and you may as well have made a new printer from the start. Although having said that, if you do have a bigger printer, you can easily change the volume of the print bed using the firmware and the setup you have in your slicing software. It's quite easy to reset the bed size and that. Can you do other electronics projects? Yes, I can, and I'm definitely planning to. I love doing stuff with electronics and incorporating electronics into 3D printing projects. I'm definitely not an electronics whiz kid, but I'm planning quite a few projects, so that's going to come up soon. Can we expect any collaboration videos? Yes, you can, between me and a few other 3D printing YouTubers. I've already done a couple in the past and they're great fun, so I'll be doing a lot more, definitely. How can I print in the most high quality in the short time possible? Well, that's kind of a contradiction, because if you want to print with very low layer heights, then it's going to take longer on FDM printing. Although there is new technology coming out, like the Gizmo 3D printer and Carbon 3D, which allows you to do really quick high definition prints using their respective technologies. So the technology is on the horizon, but at the moment, if you want to do very high quality prints, you have to do lower layer heights, or you have to do your post-processing with a coarser layer height with something like acetone vapor smoothing, or using XTC 3D coating to kind of smooth out those layers. This is just a general question. I get asked a lot about PETG from a lot of you guys. I will be testing out some soon when I get my hands on some, but what I have here is recycled PET from Filamentive. So I got some rolls sent to me from Filamentive quite a while ago, and they're getting reviewed very, very shortly. Now I have the printers to review them. And I think PET does fill the gap between PLA and ABS, which a lot of you people have been suggesting, but it does have its few drawbacks as well. It's definitely not the perfect filament, so yeah, you can look forward to a review of this and some other PETG filament coming soon. So that's going to do it for today's Q&A video here on Makers Muse. If you want a question answered, definitely let me know either in the comments or send me a direct email at angus@makersmuse.com. That way I'm guaranteed to get it, otherwise the YouTube comments tend to just get flooded and I never see it, unfortunately. And if I don't answer, don't feel too bad, I'm just quite busy. But thanks for watching, guys. If you want to see more future 3D printing content here on Makers Muse, feel free to subscribe, it helps me out a lot. And I'll see you again very shortly. Catch you later, guys. Bye.